When I married Richard, a widower with 2 adult children, I knew my life would change dramatically. I was stepping into a world already defined by long-standing relationships and histories. Richard was a kind and attentive man, someone I trusted implicitly. His family welcomed me warmly, or so I thought. I didn't expect the storm that would upend our lives just a few years later. Richard's eldest son, Adam, had a son of his own, Mark. Mark was in his late 20s, a bright and charismatic young man with a quick wit that drew people to him effortlessly. At family gatherings, he was the life of the party, always making everyone laugh. Over time, we grew close in a way I hadn't expected. He started confiding in me about his struggles, his tumultuous on-again, off-again relationship with his fiancée, Sarah, and the pressure he felt to live up to his father's expectations. At first, I saw myself as a mentor, someone he could turn to for guidance, but as the months passed, our conversations became more personal, and I found myself sharing things I hadn't even told Richard. It was subtle at first, a lingering glance, a brush of his hand against mine, but there was an undeniable spark that grew between us. It happened on a rainy autumn evening. Richard was out of town for a business trip, and Mark stopped by unexpectedly. He said he needed to talk, that he felt like his life was falling apart. He sat across from me on the couch, his face a mixture of frustration and vulnerability. "I don't know what I'm doing anymore," he confessed, running a hand through his dark hair. "Sarah and I had another fight. She thinks I'm too close to you." The words hung in the air, heavy and charged. I opened my mouth to respond, but nothing came out. Was it true? Had our connection become something more than it should? And if so, why hadn't I stopped it sooner? Before I could think, Mark leaned forward, his eyes locking onto mine. "Do you feel it too?" he whispered, his voice trembling. "Because I can't stop thinking about you." That night marked the beginning of a secret relationship that would unravel everything I thought I knew about myself. Mark and I didn't plan for it to happen, it just did. It was as if the floodgates had opened, and all the emotions we'd suppressed came rushing out. Our encounters were fleeting and filled with guilt. We'd meet at obscure coffee shops or take long drives to avoid being seen together. Every stolen moment felt both exhilarating and damning. I couldn't look Richard in the eye without feeling the weight of my betrayal. Yet, I couldn't bring myself to end things with Mark. The inevitable happened one summer evening. Richard found a series of text messages on my phone, messages I'd been too careless to delete. The confrontation was explosive. Richard's face was a mix of disbelief and rage as he demanded to know the truth. When I finally admitted what had been happening, the look of heartbreak on his face was almost too much to bear. But the fallout didn't end there. Mark's fiancée, Sarah, found out as well. She showed up at our doorstep, screaming accusations and demanding answers. The entire family was thrown into chaos. Richard's children turned against me, and even Mark seemed to retreat into himself, consumed by shame and regret. The months that followed were a blur of therapy sessions, painful conversations, and endless regret. Richard filed for divorce, and I moved into a small apartment on the other side of town. Mark and I tried to maintain some semblance of a relationship, but the guilt and judgment from everyone around us made it impossible.